Good evening. I'm Jay Ricker, the current chairman of Conner Prairie's Board of Directors. And tonight, it's my pleasure to welcome you to our 2017 annual meeting. We're glad you're here to celebrate along with us. We certainly have a lot of wonderful things to celebrate this evening. 2016 was another banner year for Conner Prairie. First of all, our daily general attendance increased by 10% over the past year. It certainly seems that our mission is alive and well. I want to also thank our dedicated staff, volunteers, and partners for their willingness and ability to adapt, evolve, and innovate with today's changing world. Not only were our daily visits up, but in 2016, even more families recognized the great benefits and lasting value of becoming members of Conner Prairie. Memberships were up 9% in 2016. We were also honored to make history on October 13th as the Indiana Bicentennial Torch Relay passed through our property here. All told, 7 torchbearers, one of those is one of our own, Terry Anchor. I don't know if Terry's out here, but I'm going to call you out. And they carried that torch through our grounds, including a trip up in the air aboard our 1859 Balloon Voyage tethered balloon. We're proud to have been part of the torch's 3,200-mile journey through all 92 counties here in Indiana. In 2016, we completed 2 exciting bicentennial projects, the Treetop Outpost and the William Conner House. The wildly successful Treetop Outpost opened in July to an overwhelming response from our guests. In fact, July turned out to be the most attended month in Conner Prairie history. And the William Conner House renovation has allowed us to enhance the story of William Conner's role in helping transform Indiana from a territory to statehood and better serve our school and general public audiences. If you haven't experienced these 2 new spaces, I'd like to suggest that you do so soon. They really are not to be missed. Our summer camps, of which all my grandchildren have attended, and I hear how good they are, have always been an audience favorite, and they often sell out in no time flat. In 2016, Conner Prairie hosted a record 2,199. You would have thought we could have got one more camper to make it. We tried. Yeah. 2,199 campers for experiences like adventure camp, science camp for boys and girls, archaeology camp, my favorite, maker camp, and art camp. We're eager to see this program continue to grow, and you'll be hearing some more about that later in the evening. For many of our guest families, and I know mine never misses this, it's our annual Headless Horseman event that has become a real beloved tradition for many families over the years. After more than 30 years, this event stays fresh and engaging. And if any of you are out here, the lines are long. Attendance was actually up 13% for 2016 on that event. In 2016, more than 20 local breweries were on hand to celebrate our annual History on Tap event, a special event put on by our Young Professionals organization, the Horizon Council. This event continues to grow in popularity, and this year, its attendance was up by 5%. Families love our breakfasts and dinners with Santa. In December, attendance was up 31%, so if you're thinking about bringing someone, they need to work on those wish lists now. The Conner Prairie Alliance, the group of women who, among other important things, run our Apple store each fall, contributed a record $100,000 to Conner Prairie in 2016. That's a lot of caramel apples and a lot of hard work, and we couldn't be more grateful. In 2016, we were honored to receive a $400,000 grant from the Allen Whitehill Clowes Charitable Foundation. It was an incredible year, and we're looking forward to an even better 2017. Next, I'd like to invite our President and CEO, Norman Burns, to the stage. I'm sure you'll remember, if you were at last year's annual meeting, that was Norman's first night to actually be with us. And I imagine he felt a little bit like our next slide. But he's not a deer in the headlight now. Come on up, Norman.
Thanks, Jay. 12 months ago on this very stage, I really did feel like a deer in headlights. But I have to admit that after listening to all the records and success of 2015, I was wondering whether or not we could achieve that in 2016. So I'm very proud to be here this evening after 12 months on the prairie and tell you that we did. I've been surrounded by a wonderful team of professionals I've come to know as close colleagues and friends, and we've been able to not only sustain that success, but also continue to grow. This year is already off to a great start. Just this month, we had a record number of guests visit Conner Prairie during Martin Luther King Jr. Day with special programming to serve our winter audiences. So rather than feeling like a deer in the headlight this year, I feel a little more like this. I'm ready to charge ahead after a year. Since arriving at Conner Prairie a year ago at the annual meeting, I've had a chance to really step back and see where we've been as an organization, and that's been a remarkable trip. Study the direction that we're headed, and I've worked with my team to envision new pathways for our continued success. As Jay mentioned, we've had a lot to celebrate this past year, and we're celebrating that tonight. In the last 12 months, I've had the great pleasure of seeing our team in action and watched our organization's reputation flourish locally, regionally, and nationally. As leaders in the museum industry, we've spent our share of time away from the prairie, speaking at conferences, meeting with other Smithsonian affiliates, and joining various leadership organizations to not only share our story, but also to walk away with new ideas about how we can improve our own experiences, programs, and festivals for the audiences that we serve. In addition, we're always looking for ways to professionally develop our staff. This year, we're proud to be one of only 5 partners with a premier professional development organization called Developing History Leaders at SHA. It's a unique organization providing history professionals with the tools, ideas, and connections that they need to become highly effective leaders and managers within the profession. I'm very proud to be a 1991 graduate of this program. Yeah, that was a long time ago. And I'm excited to announce that our interpretation manager, Ellen Pollen, joined the SHA class of 2016. She just recently graduated in November. We look forward to seeing Ellen and her colleagues continue. Yes. And Ellen's in the room somewhere, but it's dark. Ellen, can you say woo-woo? Oh, there you go. There's Ellen. We look forward to seeing Ellen and her colleagues continue to grow professionally and really become stronger advocates and louder voice for Conner Prairie, not only in the local community, but also in the museum community. In 2016, we deepened our commitment to the History Relevance Campaign. This is a national grassroots endeavor with a diverse group of history professionals, like myself, posing questions about what makes the past relevant today. The History Relevance Campaign serves as a catalyst for cultivating the value of history in our society today. We believe that history is crucially important to the well-being of individuals, communities, and the future of our great nation. History is essential because it provides a legacy. It inspires leadership. It fosters engaged citizens. It stimulates economic development. It helps provide vital places to live and work. It teaches critical thinking skills, and it nurtures personal identity. We believe that history can have more impact when it connects the people, events, places, stories, and ideas of the past with the people, events, places, and stories and ideas that are important to all of us today. As an organization, we're deeply involved with this movement, so much so that I serve on its National Steering Committee. Most people know us as a place where you can get up close and personal with the animals. There you see a couple of them right there, and yes, that's true. We do. I have to say our animal encounters is a remarkable thing, and you're going to learn more about that this evening. However, at Conner Prairie, We're also a global leader in the breeding and raising of rare heritage breeds, helping to ensure the survival of historical livestock. Through high-tech scientific procedures, including things like on-site artificial insemination, we're able to maintain the DNA of rare, nearly extinct breeds of livestock, like English longhorn cattle, the Ossabaw Island hog, and the Arapaw goat. We're also playing an important role in the national research studies. One of the few places in the country that maintains herds like this is Conner Prairie. And as such, we're working with Purdue University and the National Animal Germplasm Preservation Program in Fort Collins, Colorado, to help scientists study cures for human diseases like diabetes. We consider it an honor to be part of such an important research study and look forward to exciting scientific breakthroughs in the future. We will learn more about our unique ag program later this evening and even meet two of our dynamic youth agriculture captains. We call them yaks. Now, that's a good thing. I have to admit, when I first came and I heard that we had yaks, I wondered why, but then I was introduced to them and I understood completely. Now, people always want to know what it means to be a Smithsonian affiliate. After all, you see it on our sign on Allisonville Road, you see it in this building, you see it on all of our materials. Being an affiliate not only means we have access to the Smithsonian's priceless collection of artifacts and resources, but we also have a network of museums across the country with whom we can share best practices and learn from one another about how to build valuable experiences and exhibits for our audiences. As an experience-based organization, rather than an object-based museum, we're unique in the affiliate program, and as a result, we've become a leader and go-to resource for other institutions across the country. In fact, just recently at the Smithsonian Affiliations National Conference in Washington, D.C., our own Vice President and Chief Operating Officer, Kathy Faree, was invited to speak, where she was able to share the lessons that we've learned from our Create Connect exhibit and talk with other organizations about innovative ways to integrate history with STEM to inspire curiosity, adopting our model into their own exhibits and museums from coast to coast. In 2017, I'm really excited to announce that we'll be offering our donor-level members, starting at the Explorer level, a joint membership to the Smithsonian, so they can take advantage of all member benefits, including discounts and a subscription to its prestigious magazine. You may have seen, if you've already been here for about a week or you just saw it this evening, you may have seen our poster exhibit out in the atrium commemorating the opening of the new National Museum of African American History and Culture in Washington, D.C. They had projected that that museum would serve about 750,000 people in the first year. It opened in September, and they've already served nearly 1 million people. In the future, we will continue to host Smithsonian-affiliated speakers and subject matter experts and bring in new traveling exhibits that thematically build on the lessons that we share here on the Prairie. Perhaps some of you have heard me talk about my background and passions. If you've had, I apologize, I drone on and on and on about them. As a social historian, I believe in the human experience. And the human experience is all about man's curiosity about the environment in which he lives. That curiosity has led us, as mankind, to create disciplines like science and math, which has led to even higher forms of learning and academic pursuits. When we talk about Conner Prairie and our future, we talk about how history is integral in inspiring curiosity in our guests. And that's exactly what we've been doing here for years. And that's the very thing that attracted me to come to Conner Prairie. That's what's turned us into a leader in our industry. From opening doors to our approach to experimental learning, people are seeking us out. We're becoming the new benchmark in the museum community. This innovative spirit is just baked into our DNA. Every day, I'm serious, every day we wake up and continue to search for new ways to provide valuable experiences for our guests that we serve, to inspire curiosity and foster learning about Indiana's past by providing engaging, individualized, and unique experiences. After all, that's what our mission says, and it's something we take very seriously. All of our 2016 record numbers reflect that. It's how we've grown our audience, increased our memberships, and expanded our camp offerings year after year after year. Our team is out there always looking for new ways to integrate the kind of programming and experiences our guests value, and they're always listening and they're always doing. We've just started to develop a new 10-year master plan for Conner Prairie. Our guests have always appreciated the vast space we offer them to explore, play, and learn. Our exciting vision for the future will allow us to provide more of the types of experiences that shine a light on the course of our state's history and the valuable lessons we can learn from our innovative past. This plan might even open up additional acres of land to focus on Indiana's great natural resources. That's right. Our dream is to explore the potential of an untapped resource, the White River, and the acres we own on both sides of its beautiful banks. From the top of the treetop outpost, as Jay mentioned, that opened back in July, you can almost see the White River, almost see it. In the winter you can because the leaves are off. And we hope to one day build a bridge across the river and encourage our guests to experience a whole new side of Conner Prairie. The river is such an integral part of our story and our history. 180 years ago, the White River was the primary means of transportation for William Conner's guests. Over the next decade, we look forward to finding new ways to share this story and showcase the valuable natural resources that made this site the perfect place to settle down and build a home with a legacy that would endure for centuries. Now, every couple of years, we unveil a new advertising and communications campaign. A few years back, you might have remembered the campaign, Millions of Great Questions. The last couple of years, you'll remember Dreams Are Born Here campaign. Tonight, I'm extra excited to share what comes next. This time around, we wanted to focus on our expansive grounds and all the things that makes Conner Prairie truly unique. I'd like to show you a little video that communicates our big vision for the next few years on the prairie. Let's have a look.
Inside every kid, there's curiosity. It's how we discover new things. We explore and play. We use our imaginations. We need room to grow and fresh air to breathe. A place where we can go further with space to explore and uncover new things. We need a place as wide as our imaginations, where we have a chance to play freely and discover who we really are. We need the opportunity to run farther and do more. At Conner Prairie, my family and I can explore wide open acres of land where the past, present, and future are alive with excitement. We can be ourselves. Here, my little brother and I can climb to new heights. Our senses are engaged and our voices are heard. At Conner Prairie, there's room for everyone. And discovery is just waiting for you. Welcome to Wonderland.
This is the first campaign we're launching since I arrived at Conner Prairie a year ago, and I have to tell you, this really captures the wonderful things that I've seen this past year. You'll notice this approach is big, bold, and cinematic. A campaign as big as our prairie needs to be. Print ads, TV and radio spots, digital ads, it'll all be there, and we're excited to share more of it with you in the weeks and months to come ahead. Welcome to Wonderland. Now I'd like to invite Kathy Faree, Vice President and Chief Operating Officer, to the stage, and she'll be giving us some exciting programming updates from the past year and sharing with us ways that will help our guests go, do, and be in 2017. Kathy?
Thank you, Norman. And thank you all for being with us tonight. As Norman mentioned, after wrapping up the current master plan we've been working on for the past 8 years, we're excited to move on to the next phase under Norman's leadership. You can be sure there will be a lot of exciting announcements in the years to come. At Conner Prairie, we're always looking for new ways to innovate. Our evolutions have culminated into what Conner Prairie looks like today. Yes, we've made significant changes over the years. We've added new programming and tweaked existing experiences to meet the ever-changing needs of our audiences and to keep us relevant. So, how are we different today? Why have we evolved? What has our evolution meant to the community and to the audiences we serve? As museum professionals, these are important questions. We believe our primary goal is to impact our guests, and our focus will always be to find new and innovative ways to touch as many lives as possible with our mission. After all, Conner Prairie is a wonderland. In 2016, the Director of Interpretation, Dr. Catherine Hughes, and the Director of Exhibits, Brian Mancuso, and I canvassed the country, joining prestigious organizations and speaking at various conferences, including the American Alliance of Museums, the Association of Midwest Museums, the Association of Science and Technology Centers, the Northeast Museum Association, and the Smithsonian Affiliates National Conference. We're proud to have had the opportunity to go tell our story alongside our peers and professionals nationwide. We've also been the focus of many articles recognizing our innovative approach to integration of history and STEM. A piece recently came out in the exhibition, a national resource in our industry, about the process of creating Create Connect. As you are aware, Create Connect was a National Science Foundation project with 4 participating museums across the country. We've now spoken at several conferences about the project, met organizations, and talked to them about how they too could integrate this model. It's been an exciting opportunity for us to take a leadership role across the country. In 2017, we'll continue to provide incredible things for families to do together. Some of these programs have been around 15, 20 years, which is highly unusual for an institution. We understand the importance of preserving the timeless programs that have appealed to our audiences for generations. I'm sure many of you have attended a Hearthside Supper or participated in our Follow the North Star program. These are pillars for Conner Prairie, and ones that continue to sell out and carry a lot of buzz. One of our longest standing programs is our Headless Horseman experience each October. It has continued to grow and evolve over the years in ways no one could have anticipated. We're looking to expand that program again in 2017 to meet the audience demands. This year, you'll see additional experiences as well as a brand new corn maze that will carry you into new spaces here on the prairie. This will be a crowd pleaser. Prairie Plates is now in its 3rd season. If you haven't joined us for this popular program, I highly recommend it, but come hungry. Every event in our Prairie Plates series features delicious meals from the region's top shelves of iconic Prairie locations. Here, you might dine on the covered bridge or the streets of Prairie Town. It's a unique celebration of the area's most innovative food and drink. Our series kicks off this April in the Chinese House with chefs Craig Mariuto and Adam Dieter of Shoe Fly Public House and Long Branch, one of our partners for tonight's post-meeting reception. Be sure to join us for an evening of Asian-infused cuisine at one of Conner Prairie's most exotic locations. Last year, we named our first resident playwright. Crystal V. Rhodes is an award-winning playwright and author and has performed and written more than 20 plays that have been performed throughout the United States, including a co-written play that enjoyed an extended off-Broadway run. Last spring, in partnership with the Asante Children's Theater, Crystal authored 2 short plays as part of our new Giving Voice program, a program made possible thanks to a grant from the Indiana Arts Commission. We performed readings of these plays at the Phoenix Theater and the Indiana Landmark Center, as well as here at Conner Prairie. We spent the summer eliciting feedback and input from our audience so we could continue to tweak the scripts so they could be the most effective. I'd like to acknowledge the executive director of the Asante Children's Theater and our friend, Keisha Dixon, who's with us this evening. Thank you, Keisha. Thanks to a new grant from the Crystal DeHaan Family Foundation, We'll grow this unique theater program and upgrade our Lilly Theater with professional lighting and AV equipment this year so these performances and others can be performed on a more consistent basis. So if you missed it last year, don't worry. You'll have plenty of opportunities to see it again. As an organization, we believe it's vital to stay up to date and relevant with the national conversations. One hot topic is the shortage of women in technology. How do we engage our young girls in science, math, and engineering careers? At Conner Prairie, we've responded with a popular annual event, Passport to High Tech, which we run in partnership with the organization Women in High Tech. This unique event is designed to help girls ages 7 to 12 recognize that they can be anything they want to be. Featuring hands-on experiments and interactive exhibits, participants can explore biology, chemistry, engineering, manufacturing, computer science, and other disciplines at 30 stations presented by some of the region's most significant science and engineering companies, including partners like Roche and Lilly and the 1150 Academy. Girls can engage with female experts working in STEM-related fields and ask questions, participate in hands-on experiments and interactive tasks, as well as learn more about these careers. Curiosity Fair and Festival Machine are two other places where we've been able to partner on a larger scope with the community and offer something we can't deliver on a daily basis. With these festivals, we're constantly changing with the times, finding new partners, focusing on emerging topics. We've successfully been able to grow our presence in the community and to continue to remain relevant in today's world. 2016 was a big year for us, as you've heard. We were part of the Indiana Bicentennial Celebration. Both the Treetop Outpost and the William Conner House were legacy projects endorsed by the Indiana Bicentennial Commission. Similar to Create Connect, we addressed a national theme with Treetop Outpost, which opened in July of last year to huge acclaim. People love it. They come back again and again. At the Treetop Outpost, we've recognized that climbing into the wooded canopy is one of the most successful aspects of this experience, and one we continue to hear about from our guests. This year, we'll be looking for ways to add opportunities for kids to move around in additional kinetic experiences. This will keep kids moving so they can observe their world and continue to look at things differently. With the renovation of the William Conner House, we were able to bring the house up to date in a way that teachers and students could use it on a higher level. Inside, we've added interactive components that help us tell a more complete story and allow us to address new issues that are relevant today. As many of you are aware, our Create Connect exhibit has given us national recognition and continues to be a huge hit with our local community. We've been working with local schools to develop programs this winter to enhance our year-round value. We've already hosted 159 fourth grade students from Geist Elementary, and we'll have another school group from Brook School Elementary here in February. To bolster our year-round value and expand the story we're telling in our 1859 balloon voyage, we've added a fifth station to Create Connect that tells the story of John Weiss and his historical balloon flight a little differently, featuring unique make and touch opportunities. I encourage you all to come join us with your family and friends in 2017 and see all of this for yourselves. Now, I'd like to invite to the stage two of our youth agriculture captains, Abigail Ogden and Sage HAMM, so they can share the valuable lessons that their Conner Prairie experiences have taught them. These phenomenal young people have been doing impressive work in the agriculture field.
Well, thank you very much. As most of you know, we're Yaks, as we like to be called here. This is Gail, and I'm Sage. And here at Conner Prairie, as most of you know, we have a fantastic opportunity for about 100 youth to come here, volunteer, and get involved in doing something. And out of those 100 youth, about 10%, the top 10%, are invited to participate in the YAC program. And we're here to tell you about that today. In the YAC program, we get all kinds of special trainings, field trips, and meetings aimed at increasing our knowledge of historical and modern ag practices. Would you like to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. A lot of the trips that we've gone on and trainings are fantastic, and they're catered to what it is that the Yaks are interested in. Stephanie Buchanan and Kevin Miller are particularly good about following what we're interested in and making sure that we have opportunities to pursue those interests. One thing that I think we've both learned a lot about from the YAC program is that farming and veterinary work are not the only things to study in the agriculture field. There's tons of other topics like nutrition, science, research, and some of our trips that we've gone on visited colleges, visited museums, and our trainings like genetics and vet work have taught us about those varying fields.
Yeah, and here at Conner Prairie, one of our duties here is to help take care of our rare breeds program. And as you've seen earlier, Conner Prairie has a very unique and important role in preserving historic ag. And not only do we have some very rare breeds of animals here, but Conner Prairie helps keep some very rare breeds of, if you will, kids alive in today's generation.
The YAC program values certain characteristics that have tragically died out in the past few generations. Things like intuition, hard work, independence. These are all things that we kind of foster and try to cultivate in this program.
At Conner Prairie, we've learned so much, especially through the YAC program. We've learned leadership skills and mentoring and peer interaction. And all of these skills apply inside and out. We've become better interpreters here at Conner Prairie, and we've also become better people outside as well. Most of all the YACs will actually say that the YAC program has helped them become and grow into a better person.
Absolutely, and I'm a senior in high school. I'm about to graduate, and being a part of the YAC program has definitely given me a little bit more direction into what it is I want to pursue and continue to study and be a part of.
Yeah. And not only does the YAC program and Conner Prairie's youth volunteer program give us so much, but we try to give a little bit back here as well. And one of my favorite parts is mentoring and helping our fellow youth. When I came here 7 years ago, this is the start of my 7th season, I was about that tall, 10 years old, and as shy as you could get. I mean, you know, I just had my little bubble. And through this program, I've developed into what I hope is a little bit more extroverted. So.
And thanks to a very generous grant from the Indiana Office of Tourism Development, Conner Prairie has created a video that kind of explains more about the ag program and our heritage breeds and the ag program in general.
Located in Fishers, Indiana, Conner Prairie is a Smithsonian affiliate museum that offers wide open acres of land for learning, discovery, and play. In the real working farm on their grounds, you can stroll through heirloom fruit and vegetable gardens and see livestock freely roaming the fields. Guests can visit the Animal Encounters barn, where they can get close to these animals and chat with the skilled staff members who care for them.
You can't just drive into anybody's farm and expect them to drop everything and be able to answer your questions for hours. Here we're set up to do that.
Modern farmers have big responsibilities, like figuring out how to feed almost 8 billion people all over the world. Rather than focus on maximum efficiency, like most farms, Conner Prairie works tirelessly towards another goal: preserving rare animal breeds that offer important genetic traits. These are entire breeds of animals that, without action, might not be around much longer. Breeds like the adorable, impressively disease-resistant Arapaw goat and the Ossabaw Island hog, which scientists believe could hold the secret to a cure for non-insulin-dependent diabetes in humans. Every day at Conner Prairie, guests have a chance to interact with these rare breeds and several others. Right on their grounds, Kevin and his team care for animals and perform artificial insemination procedures that help these endangered animals stand a fighting chance. Conner Prairie works with partners like Purdue University to help conduct scientific research and preserve crucial animal DNA. Thanks to Conner Prairie's innovative low-stress handling techniques, animals here are calm and approachable. They even know how to take a break when they need to. Guests can not only see these one-of-a-kind animals, they can reach out and touch them.
It's experiences like that that you just can't get, reading a book even. You're living it, you're immersing in it, and I think that's important.
Animals aren't the only ones who learn and grow in this barn. A unique youth volunteer program allows human helpers, age 10 and up, to strengthen their observational skills and become more responsible. Those who excel at this program are chosen to become Youth Agriculture Captains, or YACs. YACs help with big chores, like answering guest questions, caring for animals, and even representing Conner Prairie at conferences, where they speak about issues that matter to them. Along the way, they become more confident and capable, equipped with knowledge and compassion they will carry throughout their lives. Gourmet chefs and food lovers have also taken note, realizing that these rare breeds offer rich flavors that reveal themselves slowly and can't be found in many of today's foods. Increased demand for these animals in restaurants and home kitchens helps their numbers flourish, meaning eating these rare breeds can play a role in saving them.
It's really important for people to understand where their food comes from. It doesn't just come from the grocery store. There's a whole long process before, it ends up on your table. And so it's important for guests to see that.
At Conner Prairie, guests can feel, savor, and celebrate incredibly rare animals in the same barn where their breeds have been conceived and cared for. Adolescent animal enthusiasts grow into agriculture experts. A young guest might learn the difference between a sheep and a goat, while a grown-up might be inspired to start a small farm of his or her own. It's a place where people can come together and feel more connected to one another and the world in which they live, where they can be reminded of the essential role that farming plays in our past and our future. A place like that seems pretty rare indeed.
Can I get another round of applause for Abigail and Sage? I have to tell you, you're truly inspirational in everything that the YACs do for Conner Prairie. You may not know this, but I grew up on a small farm in Middle Tennessee, and a lot of the things that our YACs do here at Conner Prairie I did growing up, and that really is something that's missing today. And thank you for saying that out loud, and that's a big part of what the YAC program does. So your testimonial is very powerful. Now I'd like to invite to the stage my colleague and Vice President and Chief Development Officer, Carrie Zuccarello, to talk about 3 new exciting projects at Conner Prairie. Carrie.
Thank you, Norman. Before I introduce these 3 exciting projects, I'm pleased to share with you that our corporate sponsorship program will kick off this year with a new approach which will position Conner Prairie to develop strategic, high-level, multi-year partnerships. We're happy to say that we will soon be announcing Conner Prairie's very first premium partner, Peyton Manning Children's Hospital at St. Vincent. Please join me in thanking them for their support. It's now my privilege to introduce 3 new projects that will further develop our renowned programs at Conner Prairie. As a treasure in our community, Conner Prairie truly is a wonderland where guests are encouraged to explore nature, science, and history, connecting with one another in ways that can only be done here. Our donors frequently comment about how our programming has exceeded their expectations, allowing them to learn, discover, and create lasting memories. This year, our fundraising efforts are focused on 3 diverse projects: a historic restoration, an outdoor program expansion, and an entirely new experience area. Together, we're calling these projects our Bridge Campaign. The reason for the Bridge Campaign is they're creating a path forward for Conner Prairie, which will take us from where we are today to where we go in the future. The Bridge Campaign was inspired by the generosity of the Lilly Endowment, which has recognized the importance of sustainability in our community by providing funding for these 3 projects. Tucked in the south corner of our grounds, you'll find a magnificent gem and a historical property that reflects the unique interests of Conner Prairie's founder, Eli Lilly. It's called the Chinese House. It's a beautiful home that serves as a prime rental venue for weddings and events, as well as one of the locations for our Prairie Plates program that Kathy mentioned. Step inside and you'll find ornate woodwork, gorgeous ceilings, and walls decorated in Chinese art and architectural elements. The house was built around 1900 by the Adkins family on land originally owned by William Conner, and it was later purchased by Eli Lilly in 1949. In Chinese culture, families give their homes lyrical names. Mr. Lilly chose Shan Ho Shi, or the House of Sylvan Harmonies. Mr. Lilly used the home as a weekend retreat, and its long porch was the site of many informal gatherings for friends. By restoring the house to its original glory and upgrading its kitchen to today's modern standards, we'll honor Mr. Lilly's legacy as well as increase its appeal for upscale events and corporate rentals. I'm excited to announce that in addition to funding from the Lilly Endowment, we have also received a generous gift for the Chinese house, which will be announced later this evening. The second project of the Bridge campaign is our summer camp program. Every winter and spring, thousands of families visit our website to secure a coveted spot for their child in one of our summer camps, where kids get the opportunity to canoe, swim, fish, and wander into Conner Prairie's experience areas. Families have continually praised our summer camp program and have spread the word that the program is among the best in the region. Demand is so high, in fact, that we've grown and expanded the number of camps as well as the types of camps that we offer. In 2016, as you heard, a record 2,199 kids attended a Conner Prairie summer camp. We now have 5 specialty camps that integrate with our year-round programming. In addition to our flagship adventure camp, we have a science camp for boys and one for girls that dovetails with our Passport to High Tech event. We also have a maker camp, an art camp, and the popular archaeology camp. This year we'll be introducing a photography camp where kids will develop the fundamental skills needed to capture awe-inspiring images. That's the good news. The bad news is we've reached capacity. The Prairie House, which serves as the home base for thousands of campers every year, is in need of expansion, so it can accommodate more kids and provide adequate shelter during inclement weather. The proposed expansion will enable us to serve 631 more campers each year. The renovation and expansion of the Prairie House will enhance the summer camp experience and open up new after-school programming opportunities. With your help, we can increase our revenue and broaden our community impact. The third and final project of the Bridge campaign is a brand new experience area, a makerspace. Across the country, maker programs serve as valuable hands-on opportunities to explore technology, materials, and ideas. Makers create, invent, tinker, and explore, bringing together curious crafters, artists, and inventors of all ages. In keeping with the spirit of Conner Prairie, our makerspace will highlight the historic trades like pottery, textiles, woodworking, and blacksmithing. This will be a place where we can see generations of families working to build something together. This new space will also increase our year-round programming here at Conner Prairie. From January through April this year, we'll be transforming Craft Corner downstairs into a pop-up maker workshop. We're inviting you all to participate in special prototype activities as we continue to develop this experience based on your input and feedback. I want to give a special thanks to Duke Energy for funding the prototyping activities taking place. Thank you. Perhaps some of you even saw it as you came in tonight. We invite you to come back and have a look around and explore and visit. It just opened last week and we're already hearing great things about it. As you can see, we're committed to continuing to grow while we remain financially sustainable. For this reason, these projects will not only enhance the guest experience, but will also contribute to a sustainable business model. This will enable Conner Prairie to continue to thrive. I hope you will join us in making this vision a reality. With that, I would like to invite Jay and Nancy Ricker, along with Norman Burns, to the stage for a special announcement.
As Carrie mentioned, we have a special announcement regarding our Bridge campaign. This past year, I've gotten to know a lot of people in this area. All of you in the room this evening, I've had the great privilege of meeting and working with fantastic board members. And I'm really pleased to have the opportunity to work side by side with Jay Ricker as board chair and get to know his wife, Nancy. They're so passionate about this community in which they work and live, and they're so passionate about Conner Prairie. So that's why I'm so thrilled to be able to publicly thank Jay and Nancy Ricker for their generosity this evening. A $500,000 gift to restore the Chinese house. Jay and Nancy, we're so grateful for your support, and I'd like to give you a chance to say just a few words about Conner Prairie and why it's such a special place for your family.
Thank you, Norman. Nancy and I feel that there's an obligation when you have a successful business to give back to the communities that made you successful. And I can't think of a better place that the two of us have talked about than Conner Prairie. Obviously, you heard me allude earlier, our grandchildren are here, our adult children use this facility. Nancy and I have both been here, and it's a real treasure here in central Indiana. And I want to also say that we've been inspired by the Reynolds family, who have also given of their time and treasure. So I think when you donate, it needs to be your time as well as your treasure, and we're really excited to see the Chinese house be renovated, and we think it will also be able to help, as Carrie mentioned, to bring some income to the bottom line. So it's our pleasure.
Well, Jay's the one who's been on the board for many, many years, but I've spent a lot of time here too. So I feel like I'm part of the Conner Prairie family, and I feel like the people who are involved here are my family as well. So I'm very happy to be able to participate in this way, and go Conner Prairie.
Thank you, Jay and Nancy, and thank you for continuing that Lily legacy here at Conner Prairie. It's gifts like yours that really inspire others to give. You mentioned that earlier, Jay, about the Reynolds family. So thank you for being inspired by the Reynolds, and I trust that your and Nancy's gift this evening will inspire others as well. I'd like to make one final acknowledgement this evening, a very special thanks to our Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer, Amy Olsmeyer, and her team, and our creative partners at Lodge Design for their creativity and dedication to making this an outstanding program. Let's give them a round of applause. And I'm going to go off script a little bit at this point. Chris, I don't know if you're in the room and can raise the lights, or if not, I'll just do this without the lights being raised. But we have many of our employees here this evening, all of my colleagues that work tirelessly to make this a better place, to make it creative and innovative. So I'd like to ask all of our staff members, Conner Prairie staff members, if you would stand up. Stand up. What I would like for you to do, make note of the people that are standing next to you, and if you don't know them, introduce yourself to them, and I want you to personally thank them for the remarkable job that they do. Ask them what activities that they work in at Conner Prairie, and I think you'll be surprised at the depth of activities that takes place here. So thank you once again to all my colleagues. And thank you for coming this evening. Our members, our donors, our supporters, our friends. I look forward to seeing you and your families experience what's next at Conner Prairie. Now, please join us in the atrium for refreshments provided by our Prairie Plates partner, Shoofly Public House in Long Branch. So now it's time to go, do, and be. And welcome to Wonderland. Thank you for being here this evening.